It is a chilly Saturday afternoon here in Ellensburg. Not a whole lot of sunshine. Overcast weather today, wind blowing out towards right field in game number 3 of the series, Western Oregon and Central Washington. A split on the day yesterday. The Wildcats took game 1 in bonus time. Went to the 10th inning of that one. And then in game 2, a 9-run third inning propelled Western Oregon over Central. 2-1, make it 2-2 as that one's fouled away. Starting lineups for the Wolves. It's Jacob Maben, Justin Herzog, Derek Maben, John Stark, Anthony Zellner, Leighton Moniz, Ibiki Ochi, Jackson Holstad, and Levi Cummings. Defensively for the Wildcats, as Jacob Maben fouls that one away. Over at first, it's Austin Oland. At second, Charlie Larson. At third, Michael Peter, the shortstop, Trevor Tripoli. Left to right across the outfield, Zach Berryman, Adam Fossil, and Tyler McLean. Behind the dish is Colby Musselman. And on the bump, it's Jonathan Garza. Garza, 11 appearances on the season. 13 2/3 innings worked, as this one is down the right field line, foul territory. McLean makes the grab for out number 1, so make it 14 innings on the season for Garza. Opposing average of 240 against him. He struck out 15, walked 14. And ERA of 13.17 to start this game. Garza disposes of Jacob Maben, and here's Justin Herzog, 266. 3 home runs, 19 batted in. One in one count to the Wolves' third baseman. Herzog made a few very nice defensive plays yesterday for the Wolves. Swings through that one. It's 1-2. Chases it upstairs for the second out. That'll bring up the shortstop, Derek Maben, 321 on the year for him, 43 hits and 134 at-bats. He scored 31 times. He hit 1 big fly and driven in 23. 17 stolen bases on the year. One of a couple big base running threats in Western Oregon's lineup. Pumped over for a strike, 1-1. It catches the inner half. And it's fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just before first pitch, I'd say around 11:45, saw a few snowflakes drop down. Reminds me of when Cleveland opened up the season a few years back, and it snowed on opening day. Stung into center. Fossil to his right. He'll make the grab on the line out, and that'll end the top of the first. Garza sets down the Wolves in order. It's Berryman, Larson, and Fossil due up when we come back. Bottom of the first, Zach Berryman leads off for Central Washington. 350 on the year, 5 home runs, 31 batted in, an OBP of 429. He faces the right-hander Arturo Alvarez. 8 appearances, all starts for the right-hander, 41 2/3 innings. A record of 4-0 with a 2.59 ERA. And the opposition hitting .232 against him. Just misses somewhere. It's 2-0. That one's down 3-0. Over for a strike. Into right. Back to the track. It's over the head. It'll get down, and Berryman is going to be at second with a stand-up double. Good way to start the inning for Central. Bring up Charlie Larson. 278 on the year, 2 home runs, 20 batted in. He's scored 27 times. Defensively for Western Oregon, not a whole lot of changes from what we saw yesterday, as that one's over for a strike. Larson doesn't like it. Stark's over at first. Moniz is at second. Herzog at third. The shortstop, Derek Mabin, left to right. It's Cummings, Jacob Mabin, and Jackson Holstad. Zellner is behind the plate. 0-1 up and away, 1-1. Pumped over for a strike. It's 1-2. All 3 umpires in the jackets, the long sleeves, the gloves. It's a chilly day out there. Alvarez looks at second and delivers the 1-2. Swung on and missed for out number 1. A good slider there. That'll bring up Adam Fossil. He's hitting .360 on the year, 6 home runs and 32 batted in. And I had a chance to talk to him after Game 2 yesterday about the Sox situation. And it turns out he's got basketball sleeves underneath his pants that cover from like mid-thigh to mid-shin, and he's got himself at least a single. Berryman rounding third, and he'll score. Wildcats with a 1-0 lead. He did say the reason that he wanted to wear his socks that high is because he grew up watching Hunter Pence back when he was the San Francisco Giants, and Pence, of course, has the almost obscenely high socks. One of the only players in the major leagues to wear them that high. Here's the first baseman, Austin Olin. 304, 7 home runs, 41 batted in, and 21 two-baggers. OPS up over 1,000, I think, for Oland. Requires me to do math, not on my cheat sheet. Foul tipped, it's 1-1. Two balls and one strike to Oland. Fossil leads off at first. 5 for 7 on the base path. The Wildcats, not an overly aggressive team on the base path. They prefer to allow the bats to work. Which, when your first 6 hitters are all but one are hitting above 300, it's not a bad idea. Decent lead over at first for Fossil. And that one gets Oland looking. Good spot from Alvarez there. Paints the black. And that'll bring up Michael Copeland, one of the 8 seniors honored before first pitch. Ripped foul. It's a very casual leg kick out of the way by the first base umpire. John Stark gave it an effort, but couldn't quite reach it. The inside corner, front doors him on a breaking ball. That one's going to get away from Zellner. Fossil will take second. That'll go as a wild pitch. Runner in scoring position with 2 down. Both outs have come by way of a K here in the first. It'll be all 3 if Zellner can complete the throw. He does. Well, Alvarez strikes out the side, but the Wildcats do get 1 on the RBI single from Fossil. It's 1-0 Wildcats as we head to the top of the second. Top of the second, it's John Stork leading things off. Yesterday, he had a big fly. Ended up with probably a few too many strikeouts for his liking, though. Looking to reverse his fortune here today. One's outside. Sweeping curveball there from Garza. Count will be 3-1 on Stark. Will be ball 4, leadoff walk for Stark. Here's Zellner, the left-handed hitting catcher, 269 on the year. 1 home run, 17 batted in, and he scored 15. Garza's curveball misses inside, and it's 1-0. Two and 0. Two ball, no strike count on Zellner. Just misses off the black. 3-0 the count. That'll be back to roughly the same spot for ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued to open the top of the second. And Kramer Champlin's going to go out. Have a chit-chat with his starting pitcher. Garza's been right around the plate. Maybe not getting as much help as he'd like. Moniz puts the bunt down to the right side, well placed. Flip from Oland over to Larson for out number 1. Now 2 in scoring position for Hibiki Ochi. One and 0. Ochi, liner to third, snared by Peter. Swinging first pitch, fouls it back at the screen as Jackson Holstad, 283, 2 home runs, 25 batted in. He's scored 16 times as well. Pumped over 0-2. It'll be a Texas leaguer to short to throw. Oland had to climb the ladder. He got a glove to it, but both runs are going to score on the throwing error. Be a pair of unearned runs, and now Western Oregon is on top. Runner going. Here's the throw for Musselman. They got him. Strong throw right on the money by Musselman. That ends the inning. The Wolves push across 2 thanks to a throwing error. It's 2-1 Western Oregon as we head to the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second, Tyler McLean leads off for Central Washington. Count up, it's 2-0 to McLean. 326, 4 home runs and 20 batted in. Scored 29 times. McLean doesn't like the strike call, but it's 2-1. Two and two the count. one's fouled off of Zellner, so home plate umpire will take a slow jog, or slow walk rather, halfway out to the mound, give Zellner a chance to recover. Got to wonder now, with the limits to mound visits, if the umpire gets hit with a foul ball and the catcher goes out to give him some time. It is umpire's time, okay. One of those things as a catcher you're just kind of taught to do, and that is not going to be strike three. It'll be ball four. Oh, that one looked good from here. That'll bring up Colby Musselman. Back to the mound, the throw to first on the bunt. And the runner moved in a scoring position. Here's Michael Peter, 255, 1 home run, 22 batted in. First pitch, a breaking ball, tried to backdoor it, but it's 1-0. One and two, the count on Peter. Tripoli waits on deck. Alvarez set and delivers a slider. It crossed up Zellner. It'll be a pass ball. Lane moves up to third. Two, back to the mound. Alvarez going to go to third. They're going to say he tagged him. It was a stretch for Herzog. That ball was hit hard enough that it probably should have gotten through. But Alvarez made a nice stab. And they're able to get McLean over at third. Now the number 9 hitter, Trevor Tripoli, 288 on the year, 1 home run and 23 batted in. Pitch to Tripoli. In the dirt, Zellner. It's right. Somebody's got to give him some help. Somebody's got to help the catcher. Ideally, it'd be your battery mate. You can't have your catcher playing kickball down there. Two and one, the count on Tripoli. Hardly hit, but smothered at second to Flip. Got him. That'll end the inning. It's still 2-1 Western Oregon as we head to the top of the third. Top of the third, Levi Cummings will lead things off, and it's back to the top of the order for the Wolves. Cummings hitting .265, no home runs and 11 batted in. He scored 21 times. Oh and 1 the count to Cummings. One, yanked to left, hit well to the track, to the wall. See ya! First home run of the season for Levi Cummings, and this is going to go down as a record book jaunt around the bases. That might be the fastest home run trot I have ever seen. 3-1 the score. He motored around the base path. Slider over for strike. 0-1 to Jacob Maben. One and one the count here to Jacob Maben. A lot of action for the Wildcats across the board. Softball is over in Bellingham after taking games 1 and 2 yesterday. Women's rugby is at Life University down in Georgia. And men's rugby is at Cal. I have to say, for everybody involved in those contests, I'm glad it's not a home game here in Ellensburg. Rugby is a physical sport on its own, and this cool, chilly weather That ups the ante on the physicality. 2-2 to Mabins in the dirt, 3-2. The women trailing at Life. Life has been a pretty constant roadblock for the Wildcats. A very good program down there in Georgia. 3-2 is skied down the right field line. Foul territory. It'll remain in play. Oland tracks it down. Nice catch there by the Wildcats first baseman. There is one away. Justin Herzog 0 for 1, struck out in his first appearance. Over for a strike 0-1. Good swing on that one, but it's 0-2. Oh, and 2 the count to Herzog. Garza set and delivers. I don't know where that missed. One, two. Got him swinging. 2 strikeouts on the ledger for Herzog now. That'll bring up Derek Mabin. He's 0 for 1. He's been a thorn in the Wildcats' side over his career at Western Oregon, though. Actually, both the Mabins have. Breaking ball over, called a strike. It's upstairs. Evens the count at 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Now over in Bellingham, the Vikings leading 2-0 in the bottom of the third. Three and one the count. Third walk issued by Garza. The home plate umpire called time immediately there. Mabin hadn't even reached first. Wanted to get rid of that ball as it caromed off the facade. And here's Stark. Drew a walk in his first at-bat. First pitch to Stark. Inside, 1-0. And Maben, who was going back to first, now trying to go to second, and I think that was a safe call. Yeah, he's not going anywhere, so he's in there safely. Well, it's 2-0 the count. Maben moves into scoring position, and Stark with a chance to extend this 3-1 lead. 2 outs, so it'll have to be a base knock to do it. The count to Stark. Zellner waits on deck, and he's also drawn a walk in this game. Get me over. Fastball called strike. Zellner waiting with the shin pads on, which most catchers do nowadays. Keep the shin pads on with 2 outs, and that way you can get back out defensively if the inning ends before you get up. 3-1, that'll be ball 4. Zellner will come up with 2 on and 2 out. I think the last catcher not to wear the shin pads to the on-deck circle was Johnny Bench, former Cincinnati Reds catcher, Hall of Famer, and one of the only catchers I've ever seen be able to throw a guy out from the squat. One of the best defensive catchers of all time, Johnny Bench. First pitch, it crossed Musselman up a little bit, but it's a called strike 0-1. Oh, one's outside, 1-1. Garza's lost his command here this inning. One hit, 3 runs, just 1 earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 2. He had 2 and 1. 2-1, sky to right. McLean dancing a little bit, and he'll haul it in for out number 3. The Wolves do tack on 1. They lead it 3-1 after Cummings' solo home run. Top of the order for the Wildcats. Here in the bottom of the third inning, Berryman leads off. He is 1 for 1. First pitch misses. Herzog snares it at third. Flashes the leather for out number 1. And that'll bring up Charlie Larson 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Call the strike on the outside corner, 0 and 1. Oh, and 2. Larson didn't like that one, and home plate umpire is going to try to usher him back in. And Larson, you may want to step in. You've got 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. That'll be the second time Larson's gone down looking. 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Center fielder number 7, Adam Fossil. 1-0. That rule requiring hitters to stay in or near the box made its debut in minor league baseball back in 2007. I was working as the bat boy for the Greenville Drive. And that one's over for a strike. It's 1-1. Greenville was playing the Lakewood Blue Claws. And in the top of the 9th inning, with the tying run on second, 2 outs, and with 2 strikes on the batter, the Blue Claws center fielder stepped out of the box as Fossil swings and misses. It's 1-2. And the drive catcher, John Egan, pointed at his feet and told the home plate umpire, hey, he's out of the box. And without issuing a warning, the home plate umpire delivered strike 3 to the Lakewood Blue Claws center fielder, ending the game. And that'll be another punch-out for Alvarez. We'll continue the Lakewood Blue Claws story when we come back for the top of the 4th. So Leighton Moniz will lead things off at the top of the 4th. Back to the Lakewood Blue Claws. It was Quentin Berry who was their center fielder. Detroit Tigers outfielder for a little bit. But the home plate umpire calls Barry out. Barry gets ejected post-game, so he can't play in the next game. Steve Roadcap, the manager of the Blue Claws, did not get thrown out post-game. Probably should have, as he followed the umpire from home plate down the right field line into the clubhouse entry, which at Fluor Field at the West End is about halfway down the right field line. The next day, Roadcap came out and got tossed at the pregame meeting, which was pretty entertaining. He stepped out, shook the home plate umpire's hand for that game, turned and looked at the field umpire who was behind the plate the day before, and just went off. And my manager, Gabe Kapler, just stood there with his index finger on his nose like, this is good. And this being a pretty good ways through the season, it was one of the first times that minor league baseball had run into this situation where it was a late game call. They actually backed off the rule for a few years. And it wasn't until, I want to say, 2010 or 2011 that the rule came back, but there were exceptions and stipulations that the umpires had to give warnings to the players before they went ahead and called it a strike, as that one is through the left side for a single. And that rule now making its way into college baseball, and you can see that they have used the revised rule rather than the initial rule that minor league baseball used. Because Larson would have absolutely received strike 3 had it been the rule the way it was written in 2007. Good size lead at first. A snap throw and back in time. Moniz does not have a stolen base on the year. Another sizable lead. It's upstairs 2-0. Oh, there's always one just about as good as the fans at hockey games that yell shoot anytime somebody enters the attacking zone. A little bit of a shorter lead over there for Moniz. Now the throw over, and he's back just in time. Up and in. 3-0 the count. Ochi upstairs, ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. That is number 5 surrendered by Garza here. And Charlie Larson going to the mound here to have a chat with Garza. Bring up Jackson Holstad. Well, so far, Central has used 3 mound visits, and Western Oregon has used 1 offensive meeting, excuse me. Catches the outside corner. Outside, Holstad thought about going after it, but held up. Runners on first and second with nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Pumped over and called a strike. On the ground, Larson, 4 to 6, 3, double play. That'll take some of the pressure off Garza here. I'm going to bring up Levi Cummings, who had a solo home run. His last time up, a little poke out to left field. First pitch over for a strike 0-1 and a breaking ball. Just outside, 1-1. Musselman, maybe a little bit too much glove movement on that one. Here's the 1-1. Oh! Cummings will wear that. Didn't catch him flush, though. That's probably a good thing. It's back to the top of the order for Jacob Maben. And Kramer Champlin coming out. He'll signal to the bullpen. So we'll take a timeout. Here at the top of the fourth, it's 3-1, Western Oregon leading when we come back. Bustamante comes in here in the top of the fourth with runners on the corners and 2 outs. I'm not sure where that one missed. I'm looking back through the 2000 South Atlantic League, though, and it dawned on me just how many players I saw that ended up making the major leagues. It's quite a few of them. And some long-tenured players as well, as there's the throw over. And the bases will be loaded with the hit by pitch. An inauspicious start out of the bullpen for Bustamante. Herzog 0 for 2. 2 strikeouts, trying to avoid the hat trick. 1-0. That is laced into right. It's going to be off the wall in the air. 2 runs will score, and Maben's going to stop at third. 2-run double for Herzog. It's 5-1. One of my better stories from that 2007 season, one of the very first series of the year, the Augusta Green Jackets are up in Greenville to play the Drive, and I'm sitting on the top of the bench in the third base dugout, assigned to the Green Jackets to be their bat boy for the game, as that's in the dirt, blocked by Musselman. And this giant of a human being comes up to me and says, "This is my seat. You're in my seat." And I'm just sitting on the top of the bench in the dugout, and not wanting to cause any issues. I go, "Yep, okay, get off the bench, walk away." Athletic trainer for the Green Jackets comes over and goes, "Do you know who that is?" And I said, "Not at the moment." And that is going to be through the left side for a single. 1 run will score. They're going to wave around the second run. It's 7-1 Western Oregon. Good piece of hitting there. And another big inning for the Wolves, and that's been the Achilles heel of the Wildcats this season. But it turns out that giant was Lee Smith, who held the save record until Mariano Rivera broke it with the New York Yankees. And Lee Smith, he shook my hand, and he could wrap his entire hand around mine. Here's the first pitch to Stark, a called strike. But the story doesn't end there. It's like the second inning. I'm in the dugout sitting next to Lee. Greenville's batting. At shortstop is Brian Bocock, and he's 21, 22 years old, pretty young, still new to minor league baseball. And Lee looks at me and goes, "I'll bet you right now," as this is a one-hopper to short, Tripoli to second. He says, "I bet you right now Brian will make the major leagues within the next 2 months." Bocock spent just 39 games at single A before being called all the way up to Major League Baseball to fill a spot on the Giants roster. And with that, we'll be back with the bottom of the fourth. It's 7-1 Western Oregon. Bottom of the fourth, Western Oregon picked up 4 in the last half. They lead 7-1. And Austin Oland will lead things off. Bocock in that season hit .292 in 39 games for the Green Jackets. That one's over 1-1. Over for a strike, 1-2.
Yeah, he said if anything, if it's still really bad in a month, he'll just have replacement surgery. And he'll just move
In the dirt, swinging. They'll have to make the throw to get him, and they do. It's KS23 if you're scoring along at home. Here's Copeland. Over for a strike, 0-1 to begin the at-bat. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far. Another strike, 1-2. Catches the outside corner. Alvarez winds and delivers. Cope flares it into left. Diving is Cummings, and he's got it. Really nice play out there by Levi Cummings. Sinking line drive, and he cuts it down, 2 away. We'll bring up Tyler McLean. McLean swinging first pitch on the ground, a short. The throw across. Got him. Wildcats go down 1-2-3. Top of the fifth coming your way after this. Top of the fifth inning. Bustamante back out on the bump. And he'll face Anthony Zellner. The first pitch is called the ball 1-0. Zellner 0 for 1 with a walk on the day. As I revisit that 2007 season, probably my favorite moment, not related to the Greenville Drive and Gabe Kapler, because Cap was, and probably will always be one of my heroes. And he is the exception to don't meet your heroes, because he is everything you could want out of a role model and more. Just an incredible guy. But one of my favorite moments came from the West Virginia Power and Kenny Holmberg, a corner infielder for the Milwaukee Brewers organization at the time. As a swing and a miss there from Zellner makes it 1-2. They're playing in Greenville in mid-late July. Kenny comes up to the dish for his first plate appearance, goes yard. I'm in the West Virginia dugout, so I go out, grab his bat, bring it back to the dugout. And for the Greenville players, I would stand and wait at home plate, give them a fist bump as they crossed. Obviously, I would not do the same for the away teams, as Zellner goes down swinging for out number 1. Later in the game, Holmberg is in the hole for his second at-bat. I'm standing on the top step of the dugout, waiting for anything to happen so I can go pick up a bat or a foul ball, and Kenny taps me on the shoulder, puts his arm around me, and says, "Hey, Caleb, I'm going deep for you this next at-bat." I said, "Okay, Kenny." So he comes up 2 batters later and puts one over the apartment building at left field. I mean, every minor league stadium in the Red Sox system has a green monster. Even Hadlock in Portland, Maine. And behind left field at Floor Field at West End is this beautiful brick apartment building with plexiglass windows, because we may have hit the windows a few times during batting practice, but he hit it onto the roof. And as he's coming around third, I stand at home plate, my hand over the top of over the knob of the bat, just waiting for him. And he gets in, he looks at me, and he goes, "I told you." I'm like, well, that's the first time I think any player's ever dedicated a home run to me. That one's in the dirt and blocked by Musselman. 1-2. I think that was the second or third time the West Virginia Power had come through Greenville. So a lot of those guys at that level, not that they don't have a future to make it to the major leagues, but a lot of them are or do end up more as roster fillers. And that one's fouled off the plate by Moniz. And one of those guys, who was supposed to be a roster filler but ended up making a pretty nice career for himself, was Chris Negron. Played for the Cincinnati Reds, ended his career with the Seattle Mariners, and I believe he took a front office job this last offseason. Moniz fouls that one off. It'll stay 1-2. But Negron and I were pretty tight over the span of that season. He was one of my favorite players, alongside Mike Chambers and catcher Zach Farkas, who had one of the better pranks that year. He kept spitting sunflower seeds onto Lars Anderson's bat, because Lars would just cover it in pine tar, and in the South Carolina heat, the pine tar would stay kind of moist and sticky, and Farkas would just shoot sunflower seeds onto it. 2-2 the count. Chop to the left side. Tripoli's got it. Picked out of the dirt. Moniz down 6-3. Peter couldn't quite get the extension. Tripoli right there to support him, though. 2 away. Ochi, first pitch is upstairs, 1-0. That is skied to the right side. Larson doesn't have to go very far, and he's got it for out number 3. The Wolves go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the 5th coming up after this. 7-1 here. Western Oregon leading. Bottom of the fifth, it's Colby Musselman. It was a lot of fun that year. It was still fun the next year, but Kapler had moved on. He's playing for the Milwaukee Brewers. Kevin Bowles was the manager. And Bowlesy was one of those guys who spent 34 at-bats in the minor leagues. He probably spent 20 days as a minor league baseball player in rookie ball for the Minnesota Twins. And this is at the age of like 23, 24, before Minnesota asked him to retire and become a manager in his 20s. An incredible baseball mind, and I'm actually very surprised he has not made his way to the major league ranks as of yet. Count is 2-2 on Musselman. Bowlesy currently serving as the manager of the Syracuse Mets, the AAA affiliate of the New York Mets. And that'll be a called strike 3 on Musselman.
Third baseman number 8, Michael Peter.
Bowles was drafted in the 42nd round by the Chicago Cubs. Back up the middle. But Derek Maven, who has shifted just ever so slightly, is going to round that one off behind the bag and make the throw for out number 2. 2 quick outs, and that'll bring up Trevor Tripoli.
Shortstop number 2, Trevor Tripoli. How long will the ban on the shift of that ball baseball?
Did they ban the shift MLB or no?
It's instituted next year.
Yeah,
1-0. Breaking ball misses high.
you can't ban a shift, dude. Like, the point of fielding is to play where you think they're gonna hit it. Like, I think it's totally against. It's just like being
Stung on the ground is short. Derek Maven bobbles it. Throw won't be in time.
like.
E6? Yeah.
It's back to the top of the order for Zach Berryman.
Especially in the majors, when you see like 3 guys on the right side and the pitcher's pitching to you, how about just like take a step off the batter's box, you're gonna throw inside, you want you to pull it, run down third baseline, and get your base hit. Yeah, that's good. And if like you don't want to get your base hit, dude, then that's your problem. Like, don't play up shift because they're really giving you a base hit. 100%. Matt Olson, like dude, just take your base hit. You get pissed off when you hit a piss missile in right field. That second baseman.
1-0 the count to Berryman. 2-0.
And they made a bigger base to a second base, the bases are size bigger, which is needed, which is very much needed. But I hate the slide number 1. I get it's for safety, but like
Catches the corner 2-1.
there used to be a thing called the neighbor play, where the infielders didn't have to really touch second base when during a low play because they'd slide so far out of the way they'd be around it, like kind of at least a foot apart or something. They'd call them out because if the guy's sliding a foot away.
And a balk is called.
That's just disgusting. That's a gross curveball.
Berryman trying to say that one got him on the jersey. Home plate umpire not buying it. Got to sell it. I don't think Berryman's going to win any Oscars with that performance. Derek Jeter and Trot Nixon, 2 of the best I've ever seen at selling questionable hit-by-pitches. And that'll be ball 4 to Berryman. Might not be a hit by pitch. It's a free pass nonetheless. And that one hurts less.
Second baseman, number 14, Charlie Larson.
There's Charlie Larson.
Who, Charlie?
First pitch from Alvarez misses upstairs.
I hated what he did against Billings. That absolutely pissed me off. When he started like yelling at the pitcher and stuff.
All at the end of the game.
I'm like, dude, we just lost 9-3. Like, you have no room to be yelling at someone who just absolutely carpeted it. Like, that just means you're mentally weak. No, if it's like the fourth inning, you know, and it's a close game, and he says some stuff, yeah, for sure, I'm all for it. But not when we just lost by 6 runs. Yeah, that's like, dude. Now, if you went like 3 for 3 and absolutely like was raking all over the yard, and then you barely get 2 out and like a pass out swing, then yeah, you might be able to roost some talk if it's a closer game.
1-0 count on Larson.
But now it's
There's some stirring in the Wolves bullpen. Larson pops this one up. Near collision at second, but Alvarez makes the grab. He was cool, calm, and collected. Second baseman Moniz panicked a little bit, but the pitcher reels it in to end the inning. We'll head to the top of the 6th. It's 7-1 Western Oregon when we return. Oh, top of the 6th, Jackson Holstad leading off. Swinging first pitch, and he's popped this up to the left side. Shallow left field. Tripoli going back, and he makes the grab. Oh, the in-between innings shenanigans.
Left fielder number 2, Levi Cummings.
One away for Levi Cummings. He had the solo big fly. First of the season for him.
I mean, yeah, it could have been worse. No, I usually say that.
Over in Bellingham, the Wildcats trailing 4-1. Alyssa Bentagan puts the Cats on the board with a solo shot.
I would say Dylan Larson last year taught me to not be a nice guy anymore.
On the ground and foul. To the count. Bustamante set, and the 0-2. Musselman, a good block. Keeps it close by. Cummings thought about it, held off. They'll apply the tag, and he did not go. Foul back at the screen. Swing and a miss. The throw to first. Cummings is retired for out 2. Call the strike. Big swing and a miss. 1 and 2 the count.
She didn't have a doctor, but her sister did. So I guess I gotta include the sister thing too now. If her or her sibling has a dog that she owns, just run. Jeez, dude, just yank me harder.
2 and 2. That one escapes Musselman.
Dog on the leash.
Not really a competitive pitch there.
Well, I'm not gonna like try not to keep my alarm, but I'm a pretty good broadcaster. I'm a good color guy. I know like plays and formats pretty well too. I also have inside information from Noah because he's a player. That's good.
Count runs full. 3 and 2.
Yeah, I like so much about the game of basketball because my stinking uncle was just forced in my head. He's like 10 years old, so I was playing with Eli, who plays at UC Davis. So it's like I just know a lot about the game. IQ sports is high.
And a soft dive from Michael Peter down the third base line as that one dribbles foul.
Day yesterday, game 1, 3 for 4, a couple big defensive stops too. He had a good game 1 yesterday. Yeah, basically 2 runs, 3 RBIs.
Payoff pitch, some sword action, and that'll be out number 3. We're here to the bottom of the 6th when we come back. Adam Fossil leading off for the Wildcats. After the first pitch, and it will drift out of play.
Us or them? I
0-1.
dude, I don't even
It's over 0-2.
I like get the shoulder loose, I guess. I don't know. It is heavier than baseball. I like doing it, but like not before the pitch.
Fouled away.
I'll do it in practice, just get a feel like something, just throwing something and being like directional, I guess, 'cause you're like this. Then you go baseball and you go
0-2 the count on Fossil.
I don't do it all the time.
Just misses 1 and 2.
Dude, this guy's just dotting that corner, man.
Right side. Stark calling everybody off. And he'll make the grab.
This guy has an ERA of 2.59. It's probably lower than that now.
First baseman number 13, Austin Olin.
Alvarez ERA down to 2.49.
That's it. He's threw 3 shutout innings in a row. That's just such a
Woo-hoo-hoo. Big bender. 0-1.
he's thrown 40 innings. I mean, well, Copeland should have been one, but he took it away.
0-2. 1 and 2. That one misses wide. Foul tip through the legs of Zellner.
Raymond's what, off the wall or something?
Western Oregon 7 runs on just 4 hits. Wildcats 1 run on 2 hits. Alvarez has stymied them so far.
It was a hard hit baseball.
Takes that hitter, doesn't have the ground. Won't be nice.
I think that was
The
just hard
Wildcats'
baseball.
third hit. Yeah, that was an atom ball.
Hitter number 18, Michael Copeland.
And the infield surface at Central plays hard. I can confirm that. I've gone down taking some ground balls over my years with the Wildcats.
It feels like a little blooper and it did that Oh, Love? He's good.
No, not Love.
On ground ball.
1-0. Sword action from Copeland. It's 1-1.
Oh, Lindholm? Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's good. I forget about that. I wasn't there that day. Yeah, someone said apparently you got hit and no one even noticed.
Wait, because I was down there helping out, and I'm catching for Joel as he's hitting some ground balls to MVP, and Lindholm, I guess, steps out.
2-1.
And then the second to pick the ball off the ground, and the moment he steps out, a line drive just clocks him inside the head. Like, the most unlucky moment of his life.
Yeah, and no one even like saw it or nothing.
No, we didn't know until
After the fact.
Fouled away.
I had no idea.
Count 2-2 on Copeland.
He's like, hey, Kramer's gonna hit to the 18. Why? He's like, just hit the head.
But like, bro, of course it's Lindholm too. Like, I was just. I wasn't there killing the Wild. Because one guy happened to be.
Alvarez set and delivers on the ground. Backhanded at second.
I heard someone call off.
And Derek Maben was not covering the bag.
Is that an error or is that a fielder's choice?
It's a fielder's choice technically.
So it's not a base hit, right?
That's going to go down as a fielder's choice.
Right fielder number 9, Tyler McLean.
Well, that's a fielder's choice, right?
Yeah.
He chose to go to second. No, sorry, it was fielder's choice. So it's not there. Jeez, I think
Big swing and a miss from McLean 0-1.
The shortstop in air? Yes, but he technically didn't do anything, so there's nothing there.
well, I mean, yeah, I also would give him second base. Something like fielder clean.
I wonder if one of the guys on dugout got blocked, but that's what I heard. And then just
It was
assumed
something.
spot.
It was weird. Yeah, I don't know.
'Cause everyone was
0-1 to McLean. 1-1.
the only person who wanted to keep playing was the second base.
Well, yeah, the shortstop didn't even move. He was just pointing. I'm like, what are you doing? So is that Copeland? Does he count as an earned run? Still, even though there's no error. For fielder's choices, shouldn't there be?
Runners on first. Alvarez. A feint to second. 1-1 the count with 1 out, 2 on.
One of them counts.
Upstairs 2-1. McLean held off. On the outside corner, 2-2.
Really? That's interesting to think about.
That's the only time it's really discretionary is if like stolen bases, pass ball, or not stolen bases, pass ball.
That is gone.
High. Deep. Yippee-ki-yay! McLean, a 3-run home run.
Yeah.
7-4. Second big fly of the series for him. He had a solo shot yesterday. And that may rejuvenate the Wildcats offense. There's Colby Musselman.
Now batting the catcher number 29, Colby Musselman.
On the curveball. On senior day. Good for him.
His mom and his sister, I think, is who does it.
First pitch to Musselman. He stings this one to right. Not going to be deep enough. Step or two in front of the warning track. Will be hauled in by Holstad for out number 2.
Third baseman number 8, Michael Peter.
That ball's so well. It's in the gap. He's going to get run.
The gap in right center. Holstead diving, can't make the grab. Petey will motor in with a double.
It's a big AB right here. Has a triple get on base somehow. Flips left over to barrel.
Yeah, so the only thing that makes it an unearned run is a pass ball wild pitch or an error. But then pass ball wild pitch, say on. Now batting shortstop number 2, Trevor Tripoli.
That'll bring a slow walk from the dugout. And there's the signal. So we'll take a timeout. Wolves will go to the bullpen. It's 7-4 here in the bottom of the 6th. Sebastian Boivin on in relief. He's side armor. Came in yesterday as well, and that's into the bullpen. He'll face 9, 1, and 2 if the inning extends. The first hitter he gets is Trevor Tripoli. Frisbee slider called the ball. One of the dangers of being a sidearm guy, that Frisbee slider, got to make sure it can at least slip downward on its way to the plate. If not, it's just going east to west, and that can be a problem. Two-seamer over the outside, corner 0-2. One and two, the count to Trip. Fouled away. One and two. Another one fouled away. That looks like it got a lot of the plate. The 1-2 again. On the ground, up the middle. Oh, and a little kickball there. Maybe now the throw to third, and diving back is Peter. It'll be a base hit for Tripoli. Runners on the corners with two down. Top of the order for Zach Berryman. Up the middle off the fist. Maben will take it himself for out number 3. And Tripoli run into each other. And that'll end the 6th. The 3-run home run from McLean makes it 7-4. We'll be back top of the 7th after this. On top of the 7th, here's Justin Herzog. 1 for 3, 2 ribbies, and he's struck out twice. They're trying to avoid the hat trick. That looms over him.
Also, like, really runs that off the wall.
Upstairs, 1-1. There's some stirring in the Wolves bullpen. And there was action in the Wildcats bullpen. It was Murphy. It's right underneath you. There you go. Two and 1 the count. 3-1. Couple uncompetitive pitches here in this at-bat. And that'll be ball 4 to Herzog, so a leadoff walk. And here's Derek Mabin, 1 for 2, 2 runs batted in, and he's drawn a walk. 324 on the year, 25 runs batted in, and 31 runs scored. Over to first. And it'll be a balk. And now Desi Story's going to come out.
What do you do? Maybe turn your shoulders again? A lot of guys like this, they'll turn, then step off and go.
Couple players now, I think, just asking what happened. And it was kind of like that with the earlier balk. Look back at second. Another look, and the 0-0. Swing and a miss. Had him off balance. Lace down the third base line and fair. It's going to get into the corner. It'll be 8-4. Oh, the wheels can't fall off now, gentlemen. That throw went through a pair of legs. And Kramer Champlin up off his seat. And there's the signal to the bullpen. So we'll take a timeout. We'll be right back.
It's so hard to be a sneaking professional big leaguer's son, dude.
8-4, and Riley Wingerson takes over. First batter, he'll sees John Stark.
High expectations. It's hard.
8 innings on the season for Wingerson. 8 strikeouts and an ERA of 5.63. Bender over for a strike 0-1.
Been hurt for 3 weeks, I believe.
Wingerson's season marred by injuries, unfortunately, but able to get in here on Senior Day. One and one.
People don't steal a lot on him, do they? I feel like he's always been one of our guys that people don't steal a lot on.
Yeah, he's one of our main relievers, but like, we haven't really been in winning situations to kind of. Because last year, me and him would throw every game 4. I'd go 5 or 6, and he'd go the last 1 or 2, and we'd win. I don't think we only lost like 1 game 4 all last year. And closed the door pretty
1-1 from Wingerson.
Wow.
In the left center, drifting back, Berryman. See ya! King of the North does it again. Second home run of the series. 10-4 and a rude welcome for Riley Wingerson.
Is that Stark? Yeah. Freshman.
Catcher number 9, Anthony Zellner.
3 runs in on the inning so far.
There's no definitive way this was classified with over here, like the actual.
Coger's just a wash, basically. It doesn't count. Which will absolutely get my medical, which is nice. 3 more years, baby. Good pitch.
Up and away, 1-0. The final from Bellingham in Game 1. The Wildcats drop it 4-2.
I might go to like Sport Bank for the Master though.
Yeah, I'll say right now the Athletic
Yeah, I might do that.
So I'm doing like grabs run.
What's that? What potential jobs that set you up with as a Sport Bank? Be the athletic director at like high school or something or middle school?
So yes, but you need the teaching certificate.
Right.
But you'll let me have that
I'm getting it. I'm getting it like my June. Not next year, but the following year I'll have it.
because that's what my plan was. I was in high school AD and I came in and then that later found out, oh, you need to have a teaching certificate. And I was like, well, too late now to do that. I'm almost staying for 3 more years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like that. There's technically sport administration and athletic administration. They added the sport one.
So which one's like, is athletic admin probably the one for masters or sport?
So that they both are. You can
A 2-1 count.
I think 15 and
On the ground is short. Oh, that one eats up Tripoli, and that'll go as an E6.
and there's like 3 or 4 classes that are different. Otherwise, it's almost the same degree.
That one hopped up, got him in the chest, and I think might have gotten him on the chin.
Second baseman number 3, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll take an extra second here to recover.
Last 2 years has been a discussion goes on the weekends and then like maybe a quiz every other week on whatever.
And you're doing management or
Athletic admin.
I might. I was planning to do that because it's
So it's not McGladrey. Oh, it's McGladrey. Okay, it's McGladrey.
I know.
Doc Weiss.
Yep.
Leighton Moniz 1 for 2.
If you do the sport admin one, you take a couple classes with Sean Dahl and I think Dennis.
Outside 1 and 0 from Wingerson.
They're a little harder, but I've just done the athletic admin. It's my grad project to get my degree is a handbook on how to do my job as a GA. You can either do research, you can do thesis, or you can do a project. In playing baseball, you could probably do a handbook to like team coach.
Oh, jeez, that's easy.
You pretty much have free reign. It's
Yeah, I'll probably do athletic admin then. Because you do the masters of that, and you have teaching certificate. I could easily be an AD at a high school. Middle school, you don't have to have the masters, but high school,
Go be the AD&C level.
they've had so many damn ADs in the past 10 years. Ridiculous.
2-0 the count. Wingerson 3-0.
I'll either do that or just sit here. Because
Because the AD over in Ellsworth High School is a central rep.
Oh, really? Athletic admin it is, and you're gonna get those masters. And you'll just be sinking and walking through water. That's why I got hurt right there, just for that paid masters.
Playing the system.
Get me over fastball is there. It's 3-1.
I still have 3-1
Another crooked inning for the Wolves. 3 across already in the 7th. They scored 4 in the 4th and 2 in the 2nd. They also tacked on 1 in the 3rd. Short lead over at first. Oni skies this one to the right side. It'll be foul territory. McLean moving over. He makes the grab. No, he does not make the grab. Excuse me. Probably better that that one fell harmlessly to the ground anyway. Zellner, who was tagging on that, he was going to advance if that ball got caught. Runner going on the full count. This is skied to second. Zellner's going to be back in time, and Larson will make the grab. 1 down now. Or Abiki Ochi. Over for a strike, 0-1. Oh, and 1 the count to Ochi. They're going to say Ochi did go around, so it's 0-2. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ochi down by way of the K, and there are 2 down now. Oh, 1's outside. It pops out of Musselman's mitt. That'll go as a pass ball. Flare down the left field line and fair. And that throw is going to get away from everybody. And that one might get away from everybody. A little bit of T-ball going on right now. Central just slinging the ball around the field. It's going to go as a single, and it'll be a throwing error on Berryman. 11-4 the score. That'll be a hit by pitch for Cummings. Runners on first and second now and 2 down.
Center fielder number 28, Jacob Maven. Thanks, Jeff. I needed the files.
Murphy in the pen.
Here's Jacob Maben, 0 for 3 with a strikeout on the ledger so far. Bryce Bond loosening for the Wolves.
Yeah, dude, he was sitting 90-92 yesterday, apparently. Kid, I don't know why he's at the Division 1 level. Literally, you guys at UW. Could be. Good question.
Chopper to the right side. Olin fields it and will step on the bag, and that will mercifully stop the bleeding. It's 11-4 as we go to the 7th inning stretch. Bottom of the 7th, and Charlie Larson reaches with a hit by pitch, and time is called as he's kind of wandering off the bag. Charlie Larson is a methodical individual. If he were a golfer, he'd be Sergio Garcia. Now he leads off a first. First pitch is inside to Fossil. Charlie Larson will throw off any pitcher's rhythm, I feel like, just with that methodical nature at the dish on the base path. It's up and in. Two 2-1 count on Adam Fossil.
It's the first one today I missed. They're in the 7th inning. That's a pretty dang good game. That's a dang good day so far. Oh, they got that Kuykendall in the pen too as well.
Check over at first. Larson's back in time. Talk about baseball oddities. For some reason, I was just reminded in the Korean Baseball League. Well, we'll start with Major League Baseball and American baseball rules first, as that one's down and in its 3-1. Fielders cannot line up in foul territory other than the catcher, because it is their natural position. However, in the Korean Baseball League, there is no restriction on players lining up in foul territory. A few years ago in the championship game, with the, I think, tying run on third, to avoid having a wild pitch score the tying run, the leading team put one of their outfielders behind home plate. It ended up working, but it was one of those things like, didn't know you could do that. Here's the 3-2 to Fossil, ball 4. Talking about just the little differences across the world in baseball and how the rule sets work. Of course, one of my best and favorite miscellaneous baseball facts is that when Manny Ramirez signed his last contract in Japan, part of that contract stipulated that he would have access to unlimited and free sushi. One's over for a called strike, 0-1. That contract also included optional practices. And this is skied to the right side. Infield fly rule is in effect. Ooh. And Valdez makes the grab.
Actually, you know what? If he dropped it and it went foul before the first baseman, before Bruce would have batted, it'd be a foul.
And here's Michael Copeland. Yeah, Manny was playing for the Kochi Island Fighting Dogs. He also wore, obviously his last name being Ramirez, he wore Manny on the back of his jersey. Via the Boston Globe, there were 4 interesting stipulations within that contract. 1, Ramirez will have use of a Mercedes and driver. 2, practices are optional. 3, he'll get a hotel suite on the road, as that breaking ball's over for a strike. And 4, he will receive unlimited sushi for the entire season. Oh, Manny being Manny. A slogan that carried throughout New England for just about a decade, as this one's fouled off by Cope. It's the same guy who in Baltimore caught a fly ball while playing with the Red Sox, jumped on the wall, high-fived a fan, and made the throw into the infield. Cut off a throw that Johnny Damon made in a pretty critical game. That one's outside. Manny spent at least one batter in the Green Monster at one point during his time in Boston. Yeah, he just went and hung out with the guys inside the wall that run the manual scoreboard out there. And there were plenty of times when, of course, Manny just being Manny, one of those guys that you let him do what he wants because he was that good. And Terry Francona is still one of the better managers at managing those personalities, as it's 2-2 on Copeland. There were a couple days where Manny would look at the lineup, see that David Ortiz was not in the lineup, and of course Big Papi, the designated hitter, probably had that day scheduled as an off day for months. Manny would walk down the clubhouse tunnel, yell hamstring, and that was it. Tito would have to pull him out of the lineup, and Kapler or somebody else would go play the outfield that day. It's Manny being Manny. Swing and a miss. Copeland goes down for out number 2. But you take all of that to get the home run against the Angels, to get the double clutch on a curveball home run, the 300-plus average. Manny was a character and made baseball better for it. And even though he wasn't the best defensively, I don't really think I can pinpoint, minus that throw that he cut off, which to this day still perplexes me. I can't really think of that many defensive miscues for Manny Ramirez. Heck of a player. 0-1 the count on McLean. He's already got 1 home run. Oh, my. That's called a strike. And the count's 0-2. Oh, 2 count, 2 out, 2 on here for McLean. On the ground left side, Derek Mabin going to take the short way to second. That'll retire the side. It's 11-4 as we head to the top of the 8th. Top of the 8th, Nolan Murphy comes out for the Wildcats. 15 innings, an ERA of 7.8. He struck out 7. It's 0-1 to Justin Herzog, the first batter he'll face. 1-1. That one gets through Musselman's mitt. Well, I shouldn't quite say through. I do remember a time, though, when a ball has gone through somebody's mitt. Brian Dahlbach, playing first base for the Red Sox, back around 2001, 2002, had a line drive hit over to him. It went through the webbing of his first baseman's mitt and into right field. Not something you see too often. Here's the 2-1. Off the hands to short. Tripoli got him.
Shortstop number 26, Derek Maben.
Well, no.
Here's Derek Maben. 2 for 3, 3 batted in and a walk on the day so far. It looks like the cloud cover may break a little bit here, getting a bit brighter. Hanging curveball, Tripoli backhands the throw, the pick. Got him. That's shades of Ray Sanchez right there. Sanchez, a former middle infielder, spent most of his time, or at least that I could recall, with the New York Mets and was so good on the backhand. Bender over for a strike to Stark. He's 1 for 2 with a home run. And he's walked twice. Popped up, back, and out of play. Upstairs, 1-2. One-two offering from Murphy. Off the fists and fouled away. Two and two. And got him looking for out number 3. So we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The Wolves leading 11-4.
drops.
Is that the place over here?
Andrew Van Kemsky leading things off. He'll pinch hit, and he'll be the first to face Chris Harden out of the bullpen for Western Oregon.
Oh my gosh, you late son of a gun, Drew.
Just behind that one. He was trying to hit it 450.
Yeah. I think so. His name's Brendan.
Lives over.
I don't know where he lives, but I just know his name's Brendan.
I thought it was like 5 or 6 that lived there first. And I asked Joel, he said, I think it's just Desi's kid.
2-1.
I will say Drew's only hitting like $130 or something, but his on base percentage is like 440. Drew has 6 hits and like 12 walks.
Actually, he has 5 hits in a tank.
There you go, yeah. Well, like, I think he had like 4 doubles, I think. 4 doubles, an absolute nuke to the moon. Dude, what?
And then
Cued to third. That jumps up on Herzog.
That's such an error.
Yeah, Van Kemsky will reach. We'll have to see if Desi Story will lift him for a pinch runner.
now batting third baseman number 8, Michael Peter.
No, it is.
And Van Kemsky's going to run.
Because they'll put him at first base and put Owen Monty.
I already did that on my scorecard. I'm like, that's probably what they're doing. They're moving Owen, like putting Van Kemsky in first.
That's funny. Siwoo hop and a half.
I was just listening to Caleb. I'm like, wait, are we pulling him instead of catching?
0-1 count to Michael Peter. He's 1 for 3 on the day. 0-2 as he fouls that one back off the screen. One and two, it's up and away. And Kemsky reaches on the air to lead off the inning. A Texas leaguer over Stark at first. Now the throw. And that'll go down as a single, I would hope. And Peter aboard with his second hit.
Shortstop number 2, Trevor Tripoli.
And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Trevor Tripoli, 1 for 3 on the afternoon.
Why are we button down 7?
Desi Story.
One 0 the count on Tripoli. And Tripoli squares. And it's a hard foul off the net on the bunt attempt. 1-1.
Just swing away. We're down by
All you know is slap hit it over the third baseman's head.
Outside. 2-1. There you go. Zellner getting some help on that one. Count 3-1 to Tripoli.
He went from first to home yesterday.
I know.
He can run. You got some speed.
Is he a monster in the weight room?
This dude like deadlifts like 5 something.
3-1 on a line to second. Smothered. 4, 6, 3. Double play. The Wildcats looked like they might be mounting a big offensive, and that will take the wind out of the sails.
He's back squats like 495. Bench press is a little weak because his shoulders are a little bad.
Let me
2 down, it's Zach Berryman.
But he's still bench 225 easily. I threw rep 225 on bench, probably can max like 245. Max back squats like 395.
First pitch to Berryman up high, 1-0.
And max on hex bar deadlift at like 475 last weekend. I know. We do it for pictures. I could probably do 405 for a row deadlift.
Call the strike, evens the count at 1-1. Two and one. Slide piece misses outside. Now Zellner is going to go out and have a chit chat with his battery mate. Chopped off the plate and foul. Count runs full.
That's actually hilarious. I still can't get over the fact that I thought it was just some random girl like asking us to play some music or something. I call that drop.
Harriman in a right center, moving over. Jacob Maben makes the grab for out number 3. So heading to the top of the 9th. It's 11-4, Western Oregon. Top of the ninth, Anthony Zellner leads things off.
Is it a negative term?
It's 11-4, and he faces Jacob Goodsword, who comes out of the pen. Trying to finish this game out for Central. First pitch swinging is Zellner on the lefty-lefty matchup, and it'll get down and out of play, foul.
From what I've heard, a lot of people speak their mind freely in Australia, which is not a bad thing. Yeah. I just heard from comedians too. They go there and they always say that they hear from other people and stuff. It's kind of funny. Like one time, Gabriel Iglesias, he's a kind of a fatter comedian. He went to Australia.
In the air to center, Fossil grabs the sinking liner, and that's out number one.
Some Australians were calling, "Oh, look at that foul whale!" I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's funny." Oh, he's crying. What a bender!
Called a strike.
All of 72.
Valdez making his first plate appearance. Oh, and 2 on the swing. Good pitch there from Gosford. Got him in the hole, 0-2. One and 2. Van Kempsky stays in the ball game over at first.
Oh,
Good spot.
he should have gone.
Just a bit outside, though.
That kid was
Competitive pitch, however.
They redshirted him, so that's when he kind of declined a little bit. He went to Zilla.
Hopper to short, Tripoli. Van Kempsky puts the tag on him, and that is out number 2.
Hands, please, Van Cam. Thank you. He always does that in practice and Desi gets pissed.
The designated hitter number 10, Hibiki Ochi.
And here's Abiki Ochi trying to extend the inning. Got that low stance, that Jeff Bagwell
What in the world? Yeah.
crouch. And he's also closed, too, on his stance, just ever so slightly. Not a big stride, and his load is super early. He's loaded now before
He's still late.
Goudsward even began his motion to the plate. He's about a third of a step closed. There's the load. Small stride, he's behind it again.
That's interesting, bro. Give this guy a lighter bat. That looks like Jeff Bagwell, though.
And that one's up and in, and he fouls it off the handle. Breaking ball, outer half, and another foul by Ochi. Two hoppers short, Tripoli. On the throw, they got him heading to the bottom of the ninth. Central with a ways to go. They trail 7 when we come back. Some defensive changes for the Wolves.
That's a skinny one. Oh my gosh. Put some muscle on those legs, dude.
Larson leading off.
I like the little thing. Not just straight bone.
Inside 1-0.
No, that's not a good trade. Maybe say it, Chuck.
Into right. It'll hang up long enough for Holstad to make the grab. Excuse me, Mitchell's out there now. Here's Adam Fossil.
Now batting center fielder number 7, Adam Fossil.
1 for 3, an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout.
Purcell. That's a lot of late punts, dude.
Oh my god.
Fouled away by Fossil.
They did it at Nazarene, and they also did it at like Western Oregon or something. They just say Purcell. Or Basil.
I send him a pronunciation guide that says how to say things.
So how do you say that? Like F-A-L, F-A-H, Cell, S-C-O-L.
That one's down. 1-1 to the Wildcats center fielder.
I say Purcell. Like what? It's not P-H-A, not Pho. Or P-H-O. That's Pho. That's Fuzz. Fossil.
In fact, no, I think I even just put the word fossil. Like a fossil.
Oh, like F-O-S-S-E-L, right? Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, I think pronounce this fossil Purcell too. Honey, what's wrong with this Purcell?
Or like that TikTok where the guy throws the frisbee. Adam! That's what I think.
Yeah.
That becomes
Arguably, Fossil could be the G9 hitter of the year. But his three, I don't think he's the highest average of the G9.
2-2, got him looking.
For sure, he is.
And there are 2 down. Central down to their final out.
Who's ahead of him, Perry?
I think so. No, someone from Montana. Now batting the catcher number 13, Austin Olin.
Is it Carson Green?
Check.
Carson Green?
I know there was, before this series started, it was someone from Montana and then Fossil and Barry Minden.
Graven's the G9 hit leader, or he was entering the weekend. St. Martin's lost 3 or won 3 or 4 with NMU. That is hurts us even more. Playoff picture, that's funny.
On the ground, Weekly to second, Valdez to first. And that will end the ball game. The Wolves take it 11-4 in game number 1. Couple big innings for them. That crooked number has been the Achilles heel of the Wildcats this season, and it's no different here in game 3 of the series. Central looking to bounce back and finish out the split. Game number 4 coming up in about 30 minutes.